Time now for another vlog. And if you have a vlog suggestion that I have yet to do over on the vlogs channel, feel free to check out the playlist first, because I have done over 2 years worth of vlogs, and I do try to post a new vlog at least every 2 or 3 weeks. But if you browse through the vlog selections and you don't see the vlog idea you have in mind, you're more than welcome to send it my way. Post it below in the comments section. You can tweet your vlog suggestion to me, send it to me via Facebook, or our awesome, growing, thriving Discord community. All the links to the Go Burns Nation below in the description section. And as always, if it's a vlog that's very personal, that you would like to be anonymous, you can do that as well. Just DM me your vlog suggestion, no matter what kind of topic it is, and just let me know you want to keep it anonymous. But it's a vlog suggestion you think is important that I should make a video about. You can DM that to me, once again, via Twitter, Facebook, as well as Discord. Alright, so in today's vlog, we're going to talk about help. And this is a very broad word, help. But I think it's one that a lot of us need from time to time. And sometimes, you know, it's important to offer help to others as well. It's not just about receiving help, it's also about giving help. So that's something you must always keep in mind. Now, when it comes to help, you can need it for a variety of things, whether it's homework. A lot of us have trouble with homework back in the day, or some of you still do. If you need help with a math problem, or with that paper you're writing, or that science project, don't be afraid to ask for help. The same thing goes for a lot of other things, like chores, when you're older, moving. You know when you have a really good friend when they're willing to help you move. But don't be afraid to ask your really good friends or your family to help you move, and maybe, just maybe, they might help you. You never know. Like I said, it never hurts to ask. So moving, advice, and there's always going to be somebody in your life that you may need some help from advice-wise. Is simply to sit down with them and say, hey, I have a problem with something. I need your opinion on something. That's another way of getting help, by simply just telling somebody that you can confide in, a family member, a friend, somebody you look up to, and see what they have to say about that particular issue that you're having, or that question. So that's another way you can seek help, is by getting advice from somebody that you value when it comes to their views and opinions and wisdom in the world. And of course, there's various other issues that we all get help for as well, problems that we may need help for, and dealing with loss. That's something that a lot of us have to come to terms with the older we get, that the longer we live, the fact that loss does happen, whether it's a family member, a loved one, a friend, a pet. And sometimes pets can come across as a much harder loss than other losses, because a lot of people see their pets as family, as a friend. And sometimes it's hard to grieve alone, and I've been there several times. And it's only worse when you don't reach out to somebody and talk to them about what's going on with the pain you're dealing with, the loss, especially somebody who may be in the same boat that you are. Because when we lose somebody, you're not the only person that loved and cared about that person. At least hopefully that's not the case. Truly, there has to be other people out there, their friends, their family, their loved ones besides you, that are also experiencing that terrible tragedy, that loss. So it's important to confide in each other, to seek help from each other, even if it's just going out to eat, or just hanging out and having a conversation and talking about your fondest memories of that person, or just talking about something else entirely, or going to watch a movie. Getting help from each other definitely can help you in that situation. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help. The realization that there are times in our lives when we all need help. Each and every one of us is going to need help here and there. And it doesn't matter how smart you are. It doesn't matter how confident you are. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. It doesn't matter if you have a great job or a great life. Something's going to happen to you, and you're going to need help. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there, and, I'm one of them. From time to time, I need help, and I can be stubborn about it. And I have to think about, like, oh man, I have this issue and I don't know who to go to or talk to or confide in, or I'm in denial about that problem, but I need help. At the very least, somebody to talk to, like a friend or a family member, for example, as I mentioned. But don't be afraid to accept the fact that we all need help and ask for that help or seek that help. Now, there's different ways to go about getting help. Whether it's, as I've mentioned, from friends, from family, from your siblings, from your parents, from your grandparents. If you're a parent yourself, you can seek help even from your children, or if you're a grandparent, from your grandchildren, from various other family members and close friends or co-workers. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help, especially if you feel like you're helpless and for whatever rhyme or reason, whatever the issue may be or problem, you feel like you need somebody to talk to, that you need some sort of help. You got to come to terms with it. You got to accept it. You need it. And then you have to take action. You have to get help. Whatever kind of help that might be. It's important to get it. And there's a saying, it's an ancient, I guess, religion type saying. Even though I'm not really religious, I'll say it anyways, because I think it does work for people that are non-religious as well. Quote unquote, God helps those who help themselves. And let's just say hypothetically, maybe you don't believe in God. Okay. But for those of you that do, that's another way for you to get help, because a lot of people believe in the power of prayer. And if you do believe in prayer, if you're religious or spiritual, maybe seek help from a higher power. Pray about it. Think about it. Meditate on it. Maybe that in itself will help. Maybe going for a swim or going exercising will help yourself. But that's what it comes down to. Taking care of yourself, your body, your mind, and your spirit by exercising and doing things in order to give you some sort of positive benefit to you health-wise. Whether it's simply going for a walk every day or jogging or hitting the gym 2 or 3 days a week or playing basketball, going bowling, swimming. You get the idea. You got to help yourself. That's the entire point of the quote. Whether you believe in something or not, it's important to first and foremost help yourself. If you feel like you're overweight, if you feel like you're weak and you want to get stronger, you have to come to terms with the fact that you are in that situation. And you got to do something about it. You got to help yourself. Help your health by exercising. And you can start off small. Like I said, walking is very important. It's something I'm doing more now, is trying to do more cardio along with lifting weights, because you kind of need both. But you also need to eat better. You need to eat right, because it goes back to taking care of your body. It's okay to have a slice of pie or cake or a candy bar every now and then, or some ice cream, but just be mindful of everything that you're consuming food-wise and make sure that you're giving your body the right help that it needs, the right materials, vitamins and protein and the building blocks of life in order for your body to be as healthy as possible. That way, you're helping your body out. And of course, you need water. That's one of the most important things. Water, the rain, along with fresh air. So it's nice to get out of your house every now and then, or out of your cubicle. And it's difficult when you're working or you're obsessed with a project that involves you sitting in front of a computer all day. Yeah, sometimes you just need to get up and go outside or go for a drive, go to a park, get away from it all, or just go stand outside and let the warm sun shine upon your face and take a deep breath and feel the fresh air and hear the birds and the wind and just get out there. That's definitely very good for your mental health to every now and then get out of your cave, and it's advice I need for myself plenty of times. You also need to surround yourself by good people. And that definitely goes a long ways towards helping you. Unfortunately, we're always going to have bad people in our lives, but understanding the good people versus the bad people will give you a better understanding as to how they're going to have a positive or negative effect on you. So if there are people in your life that are always negative, always hurtful, always lashing out at you, trying to use you or manipulate you or borrow stuff from you or money, then they're probably not exactly really there for you. They're there for themselves. They're not in it to help you at all. They don't really care about you or your friendship or anything at all except for benefiting themselves. So you want to be mindful about those people that are in your lives. Family members, a lot of times we have no choice when it comes to some of them. I come from a huge family. Most of them are pretty decent. But at the same time, it is good to be thoughtful about who you're spending your time with. Because growing up, I was around some good friends, and then I was around some people that weren't exactly my friends. And it's not always somebody just bullying you all the time, being mean to you. A lot of times it's a lot more subtle than that, a lot more manipulative. And you just got to think about it. Like, does this person really like me for me? Is this person really my friend? Does this person really care about me? If I was in a bad situation, would they actually go out of their way to help me out? Would they help me move? And no, I'm not moving yet, but I'm planning on it, hopefully by the end of the year. And don't worry, I probably won't ask anybody to help me move. I'll probably just hire some movers. But anyways, just be mindful about the people that you surround yourself with. Good people, good positive people that actually consider you a friend or love you, whether they're a family member or a significant other, especially if they're a significant other. If you have got a good partner, then good for you. Hopefully the feeling is mutual. Hopefully you care about them and love them as much as they love you, and you're always there for them to help them in their time of need. And that's definitely what you need in a partner. Somebody that's compatible, somebody with chemistry, somebody that brings out the best of you and hopefully the best of them, and someone that you're going to help no matter what, and someone that's going to help you no matter what. If you have somebody in your life that's not like that uses you, that pulls your strings, that you end up having more cons than pros, and yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, but that is probably somebody that's not going to be there for you should the chips fall. So just be very, very mindful about the people that you surround yourself with, because good people have a way of having a positive effect on us. And whenever something happens to you, then there's a very good possibility that you can rely on some of those people. Maybe not all of them, because they have their own issues, they have their own demons, their own battles to fight. But some of them will probably step up and help you out no matter what the issue might be. So you want to maintain a good personal and home hygiene. It's another way to help yourself out. It's very simple. It's brushing your teeth and taking a shower or a bath and making sure you're healthy hygiene-wise, and as well as making sure whether you live in a home, an apartment, a condo, a mansion, whatever you happen to live in, that you are maintaining as healthy of a environment as possible, because that reflects on you. Now, there's a lot of people out there with OCD that are very good at keeping things clean because it's just part of who they are, and that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It's just the way they are. But a lot of us, admittedly, aren't the best at chores. Some better than others. I'm pretty decent at keeping dishes and clothes washed and dried. I wish I was better at mopping and dusting and even vacuuming to some degree. But by no means do I live in a landfill or am I a hoarder. And that's another issue. If you find yourself hoarding things, maybe you ought to consider getting rid of some of that stuff. Maybe you ought to get some help for that, because hoarding is another problem. And the reality is, the things that we latch onto, the stuff that we get over time, and we talked about this in the previous vlog, value, is that a lot of it, if you really think about it, really isn't as important as you may make it out to be. And a lot of it you could either give away or you could sell. Some of it you may want to keep for some sort of sentimental value when it comes to certain items, like we talked about a few weeks ago. But most of it's just stuff. And unfortunately, when you're gone, you can't take it with you. So yeah, my dad near the end had a serious hoarder problem as well. And speaking of my father, he didn't seek help for the health issues he was having until it was probably too late. For years, he had been experiencing serious pain in his bladder, and he was having trouble urinating, and he'd go on long walks at night, and we would tell him, myself and my sisters and other friends and family members, that he needs to go to the doctor. And he was really into plants and herbs and homeopathic therapy, and for the most part he was relatively healthy. He ate healthy, he drank a lot of water, he smoked a bit of weed, but for the most part weed's not necessarily bad for you. Everything in moderation. There are obviously medicinal benefits when it comes to cannabis, but at the same time, none of that was enough to prevent the reality that he was ignoring. The fact that he needed help. He needed to go to the doctor much sooner to be looked at. It got worse, not better. And maybe if he would have done it a few years sooner, maybe they would have only found a small handful or a couple of tumors in his bladder, and they could have simply removed the tumors from the bladder and he would have been okay. Unfortunately, what happened in 2015, they had to remove his entire bladder because it was filled with tumors. They had to give him an ostomy bag. I mean, it made him feel better for a while, but shortly after he walked his youngest daughter down the aisle in December 2015, he started feeling bad again. In early 2016, he had to start going through chemotherapy. He went through chemotherapy, he rang the bell and everything, so we all thought that everything was okay. But the reality was he wasn't okay because they found rogue cells, and they attempted another treatment, which may extend his life by 2 or 3 years. Sadly, he only lived another 2 or 3 months and died in September 2016, 2 days after his birthday. The moral here is you have to be willing to seek help when you're in a situation like that. Not just physical help, but there's plenty of people out there that are suffering mental health issues that may not even realize it. They may not at all. They may think everything's fine and that everything else in the world is wrong except for them. But if you're lashing out at other people, if you're constantly angry at other people, and I understand, we all get angry about things. I get ticked about stuff all the damn time. But I don't let my anger control me. It does get to me every now and then, just like it gets to any of us, because we're all full of these wild, crazy, wacky variety of emotions. But at the end of the day, if you become obsessed with something, if you become like something ugly and mean, and you attack somebody for virtually no reason at all, because you don't like them, or you're envious of them, or you're jealous of what they have, or I don't know what are the reason why you would go after somebody, or why you would talk ugly about somebody, or do things that most people would never really consider doing, especially if it's wasting your time, when you could be doing something more constructive and more proactive and actually doing good things in the world as opposed to trying to do bad things, lashing out at others for whatever rhyme or reason, justified or not justified. Most of the time, has no real effect on them. They don't, because they don't really care about you anyways. They're busy focusing on their own lives and their own whatnots, their own thing. And when you attack somebody in whatever form or fashion, it only makes you look bad. Don't allow that anger to control you, to get the better of you. And if you need help, don't be afraid to look in the mirror and say, look, I don't like the person I've become. I don't like what I'm doing to other people. I'm hurting other people, whether it's, a complete stranger, somebody I'm jealous of, somebody I don't even know, or even worse, potentially hurting people in your life that actually care about you and love you. A lot of times people are doing this without even realizing it, whether it's just like a nasty little comment here and there, some sort of verbal abuse, sometimes worse. If there's any issue going on in any of our lives that is making you become something that you're not happy with, then you need help. Serious help. Whether it's a physical problem or a mental issue, you got to first and foremost admit that. And then take the necessary steps to get help. So if you're having trouble experiencing physical pain, mental health, illnesses, issues, problems, whatnot, or you simply just need some advice, you need help with something, or moving, whatever it is, you got to be willing and not afraid to seek help. Because most problems don't improve on their own. But if you seek help for whatever that issue is, it's going to potentially help you in the long run. Like I said a moment ago, God helps those that help themselves. Whether you believe in God or not is entirely up to what you personally believe. But like I said, you got to be willing to admit that whatever it is that you need help with, you need help. And you got to get out there and get that help. At the same time, whenever there's somebody in your life that you love and you care about that means the world to you, and they're in a situation where they need help, be willing to give it. Whether it's a very good friend, a loved one, a member of your family. If you see that they're in this position where they're having problems, whatever the issue is, even if it's just somebody to talk to, don't be afraid to offer help. Say, hey, I notice you're having some issues. I notice you're depressed about something. You want to talk? Do you want some help? Never be afraid to ask somebody like that in your life if they are the ones who may need help. Because help is about not only receiving help, but also giving help. And by giving help, that in a way helps you because it makes you feel good inside. It makes it feel like you not only care about this person and love this person matters to you, but you're actually doing something to help that person. Even if it's just going out for a cup of coffee or going out for a bite or going to catch a movie or go bowling or just hanging out, shooting the shit or playing a video game together. That's very therapeutic and it's very good. Just to be there for a person that definitely deserves your help. And the same goes for needing help. So if you need help, don't ever be afraid to ask. Because it's a problem, however big or small, that most likely isn't going to go away. And the longer you procrastinate, the worse it's going to get. So get help now while you can. Because by the time you finally get around after procrastinating over several years or months or decades, by the time you decide to seek help, it might be too late.